Hey everyone, this is Germ, and this is my video finishing up the Remington 870 MCS. Now, the Remington 870 is a very good all-around shotgun. Well, actually, quick side note. Really, most of these shotguns should be a lot more similar than they are, just because a shotgun is a shotgun. You can fire, these are all 12 gauges as far as I know, and you should be able to fire pretty much all the same rounds through any of them. But I digress. The only that would mean, of course, that like the autos would totally ruin all the semi-auto guns and all the pump action guns just because of the amount of rounds they can put downstream. So obviously they have to balance this out for the game a little bit. I totally understand that. So when I talk about damage and everything, please understand that more so than most of the other guns in the game, the shotguns are not really balanced very realistically. So anyway, Remington 870, very good all-around gun. This is a gun that a lot of people used because of it being in the beta. It's got a pretty good kick, which is good because it needs to balance out the fact that it is a pump action, which is realistic, but it still is a pump action, and that's a little bit harder to compete with the semi-autos. So what I would consider to be your main must-have attachment is the extended mags. This lets you just keep trucking towards people. Even if they are a semi-auto, you will be able to keep coming at them longer. I found a really good way to get kills with the 870 is through suppression. You can just keep marching at someone's cover, shooting, and with the extended mags you have 7 rounds, and that usually is more than enough to get up to them and kill them. So that's really good. I also find that the red dot sight is decent. Any sight past that when you're using buckshot is really just overkill because the gun won't be accurate much past that. But you really don't need to scope up most of the time. Most of the time you can do with just the big reticle. The differences would be if you are using slugs, of course, and then maybe if you're using flechette. Flechette I like if you're going to be a little bit farther out than buckshot. If you're going to be in like the 25 to 35 foot range, flechette seems to be a little more effective, especially if you can have a headshot. So I would definitely consider using that. Flash suppressor, I don't really see much reason to use that. Same thing with most of the 7X scopes. It honestly feels like some of these scopes are just here because DICE wanted to make sure every gun had enough attachments for it. I personally would have liked to see some more things like maybe a foregrip or well, actually, there's a bunch of different things you could do. You could do foregrips, or a bipod might have been kind of funny, something like that. Maybe a drum mag that holds 20 rounds. Just something to spruce it up a little bit more, because I know most people are not going to be using like a 7X scope on this thing. Same thing goes with the, what is it, the 12X, 8X, 12X, 6X. It's the rifle scope for this thing is a 6X. If you're using slugs and you want to snipe, I guess you might get some use out of that. Personally, anytime I was going to be sniping, I thought that it was just as accurate when I used the red dot sight, because even if you're sniping with slugs, it's not going to be as accurate as an actual recon rifle, so don't expect amazing results, but you can have kind of fun. It's more fun because of the novelty of sniping someone with a slug. I wouldn't say it's really useful. Where this gun really excels is something like this in close quarters, popping around corners and nailing people from 5 feet away because you can just drop them. Now you do have to constantly keep an eye on your reloading. I find it's best just to shoot a couple, reload a couple, not try to push the engagement too much, because you will easily go down very, very quickly while you're trying to reload because it doesn't have a super fast reload. Because it's a shotgun and you have to put each round into it one at a time. So it's a great gun. It's a good all-arounder. I mean, it's not going to be a ton different than the other pump-action shotguns. I think the only other pump-action is just the Spaz 12, I believe. Yeah, only other pump-action is the Spaz 12. I mean, there's not a whole lot of others they could put in here for variation. The Spaz 12 is kind of like a seminal, classic first-person shooter shotgun, which, by the way, is a heavy gun. I got to hold one at a gun show, and the Spaz 12 is only about $1,200, which isn't that much for an exotic gun, but it's a lot for a shotgun. But it's a heavy gun. I can't imagine carrying that in relation to an 870. I personally own a Mossberg 500, which is virtually identical to the Remington 870. I think it's a great lightweight gun, and I really enjoy it. So anyway, that's me finishing up the 870. That was for the assault class. So next on assault, I think I'm going to go ahead and do just a regular rifle. I'm not going to level up another shotgun immediately, but it's actually kind of funny. As soon as I got this last kill and unlocked the scope, right here, that's the last attachment, my internet cut out right there. You see the guy kind of stuttering. The screen will cut out in just a second. And that was actually my internet blinking, so I got the last kill right when I needed it, which I thought was pretty funny. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.